Hello, my name is Jeffrey Petrone, and on today's episode we're going to be tackling really one of the simplest drinks that I think we're ever going to see around this show. Of course, what show would that be? Cocktails with Jeffrey. And on today's episode of Cocktails with Jeffrey, we're tackling the Cuba Libre. Effectively, this is just a rum and coke with added lime juice. Now, as someone who is a big fan of lime juice and adding lime juice to drinks, that's a win for me. As someone who's not a fan of sweet things, I don't necessarily think this is a amazing drink, but it's a very simple drink. So I'm going to be taking in some high-level ideas. I'm going to be adding some crushed ice, just slightly broken down. Most people would do this with white rum, or because of the fact that it does originate as a drink from, take a wild guess. Yeah, that's right, Honduras. But because of the fact that there is a limitation on getting younger Cuban rum, is at least my idea at this moment in time. People have this, well, you can make this blend of rums that will approximate a kind of Cuban white rum. But instead of that, I'm just going to forego it all, just go straight back to the Havana Club 7-year-old. Now, if you just wanted to use a white rum, the Flor de Cana is, and I apologize for that, they put out great product, and this is a really solid rum to use for a lot of things. But since this is Cocktails with Jeffrey, not Cocktails with Devin or whatever, we're gonna use the Havana Club Añejo. Go big or go home. And if you're like me, you're recording this in your home. So next up, after we've decided on our rum and really done nothing else, I'm going to cut a lime in half using the powers of magic. Also this tiny knife. And then we're gonna juice half a lime. Now, some people might call for a more specific amount of lime juice, specifically a smaller amount of lime juice, but as I said previously, and as I will continue to say, I really like lime juice, so when it comes to a drink with lime juice, or really just citrus in general, I will lean a bit on the heavy-handed side, because as much as this is a series of me going through how to make drinks, they're me making the drinks. And don't you forget that, Bugsy! So I'm just gonna give this a little bit of a stir, just to chill it a little. Now, because of the fact that I do occasionally batch shoot episodes, I am going with 2 drinks today, at least in today's recordings, that don't really require much of anything. It's just, boom, add the drink to a glass and you've got it. You've got your Cuba Libre. So there we have our 2 ounces of our Havana Club 7-year-old. Doesn't that look pretty? And now we're going to add some Mexicane Cola by Main Root. Now, you could also go the direction of the just Coca-Cola from Mexico that's made with cane sugar instead of anything else, but this is the cola that I had closest to me at hand. So we're going to use this. And adding it in. Fill it to the top. Got some nice bubbles. And now what I'm going to do is something you might never see again on the channel, so watch closely. So this is kind of a lesson in why you should always go with fresh produce when selecting garnish options, because while this has not gone bad, its skin is a little tougher. Also, another fact I should mention, I was using the wrong side of the blade, insofar as I was not even using a bladed side, so ergo there might be some difficulties. But yeah, what exactly is this rarefied thing that I'm doing in this episode? Why, something revolutionary, in fact. I'm putting a half-assed garnish. Instead of no garnish, it has a half of an ass. And you know what? I might even just call this episode the half-assed Cuba Libre. Free Cuba! When it's convenient! Tasty drink. I've been Jeffrey Petrone. Hope you enjoyed this episode, or at least I hope you tolerated this episode, and if you did, hit it with a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to tolerate more things from the channel, consider subscribing. And with that said, consider just knocking the hell out of that bell. Just punch, 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 notification time. So yeah, over here are going to be some links to videos you might want to see or not, or playlists of other things that are this